Can you hear me say it?
Oh, okay. All right, peace. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you.
All
Uh-huh.
right, man. It's Conscious said,
Greetings,
hey, greetings, man. Peace, peace, brother. How you doing, first of all,
man.
before we get to it?
Man, all is well, man. I'm unscripted tonight, man. I ain't got no notes, no nothing, man.
Oh,
So
yeah.
let's just, you know what I'm saying? You
Oh,
see
yeah,
what I'm
man.
rocking?
Hey, man, I appreciate it, man. Conscious a crazy family, man. Definitely. You already know, day one, the one, JF Clay, man. Definitely, man. For the people, man. We've been kicking it for a while, man, but for the people, once again, introduce yourself, man, where they could find you, and pretty much, and then give them a reason why you love giving gems and the purpose, what drives you and et cetera, man, for the people on that.
Abs- yes, sir. Absolutely. Listen, I'm known as the host with the most, the one, the apostle, the prophet, the cosmic commander. Each Saturday at 3 p.m. Central Time and 4 p.m. Eastern Time, you can catch me on Facebook and the Truth Session. If you hadn't had an opportunity, man, to drop in on us, man, you want to drop in on the Truth Session because we're dropping those gems. And we love to drop gems because we want to educate our people. We want to open you up and bring you to the next level of your highest ability to thought, to think, to cogitate, to develop those brain cells that are undeveloped in your mind. So we want you to come in, man, take your shoes off and sit down a while with us, and we'll make it happen for you. And it's always a pleasure. I just want to say to be on platform with none other than Conscious said, listen, this young brother, man, got it going on. He's making things happen. And I appreciate him. And we need more of those like him according to what their purposes are. And I'm excited about this. As always, man, thank you for inviting me on and having.
Oh man, definitely, man. You already know, man. It's Vibe Equals Tribe movement, man. Definitely a member of the family. Like I said, we relative, but we in two different states, but we relative and close. To the Most High. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Shoot, man. Yeah, man. How you feeling about? Cause we kind of know how the calendar is. Me and my, the Vibe Equals Tribe. We know how the calendar is, but how you feeling about this year? Because it's not over. They say it's over in the 31st of December, but we know the truth. They messed up the calendar years ago. They've been playing with the calendar. But how you feeling on the overall this year for the people, man? How you feeling? What's the vibrations you feeling as us as a collective?
In terms of are we staying here in 2021 or we're moving
Yeah,
into 2022?
are
What do
we
you want?
still stuck in are we still stuck in 2020? Like, are
Yeah,
we still stuck? How you feeling, bro?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Of course, we know that those calendars have been manipulated and been played with, as you stated. Um, how I feel about it is that all of the seasons are off.
Hmm.
And it's hard to tell what season you're in, except, and I've been dealing with this in a series talking about the seers, SEER, those that have the ability to see into the future, the past, and the present. And seers were very important because they would always give us a gauge. They would
Hmm.
always give us that information that we needed to see where it was we were going versus where it was we were at. And so when you look at 2020, if you look at that, we have what we refer to as 2020 vision. When
Exactly.
you have 2020 vision, yeah, that it is said that you have perfect sight. You can see pretty well, right? So that means that spiritually, when you look at 2020, that means that we should have had the ability to peer out into the future and position things for transitioning from 2020 to 2021. But because things are off, for example, even when you look at the zodiac signs are off. When people are talking about the zodiacs, they're giving you readings. If they don't understand that there is a 13th sign, then they don't understand that everything is out of position. And you have to know how to put it in position when you're looking at something. If you're looking at it in the realm of the spirit, or you're giving someone a reading, or you're being prophetic, you have to be able to look and see how things are off and where we're at insofar as it being off. And things are so off, said, that we're out of tune and out of touch with the real reality of how things are really supposed to be happening. And so therefore, definitely, we can't develop the kind of relationships that we're supposed to have. Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's a lot going on with that. But when you look at time, when we start looking at time, there's various terms for time. One of the times I always deal with is a Greek time called kairos time. Kairos time means a set occasion that you will advance to in time. But however, advancing to that set occasion, it is based upon if you are prepared to advance to it. Because if you're not prepared or prescripted to advance to it, when you get to it, you won't recognize it. You won't even know what it is. If you don't have the necessary information to advance to a set occasion, and you were to meet Conscious Said there, you won't even recognize Conscious Said. You'll just see him as some individual just doing some old podcast like others are doing.
Exactly.
But when you are in tune with what the information is, when you advance there, you have the ability to bond and establish a relationship that allows you to understand, overstand, and surround stand what it is that you're supposed to be engaging for the development of the people, for the development of the tribe, for the development of the community. These things they will happen if you have the necessary information.
Yeah, man. And I'm saying, we, just to tie it back in and touch on it as we did last time, relationships, what I'm saying?
Yes.
Crazy, this brother, brother Kevin getting all this praise, pretty much, on these dysfunctional, interactions, and, but man, what's your feelings on that? Like, and like pretty much that energy, like what's your feelings on the misguided and sometimes misguided information as well? What's your feelings on that? Because
man,
it's a disconnect, with us and our women. It's been a disconnect
for yes indeed. Misguided information is very dangerous.
Oh yeah.
When you misinform someone, you underdevelop them. And we use the term which they phased out. We we used to say, man, you retarded, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dude, man, she retarded, man. But what we were actually getting at is that you have an inability for your thought processes to advance beyond whatever you engage that may have traumatized you. And what we found out is when you're traumatized, it stops a certain area of your brain from growing, from developing. So you can't move beyond that point. And when those triggers are smashed or hit, what tends to happen is that you revert back to that same age and you begin to act out that behavior. So when you're looking at these relationships, when we are unable to engage properly, that is because there is something that is undealt with that is within the thought processes of those individuals. And it's very important to understand that trauma is very real. It is a very real thing. And yes, indeed. And what most people don't understand, trauma has the ability to take X amount of years off of your lifespan because you haven't properly dealt with it. Yeah, it really runs deep. And so when you get to dysfunctionality, dysfunctional relationships are based upon misinformation. And misinformation can be the very fact that you were being traumatized at a time that you were supposed to be receiving information. And this is a real fact, that you may be being traumatized, for example, at the age of 7, maybe. But at the age of 7, you're supposed to be downloading other information,
Exactly.
like what I'm saying,
Yeah.
like mathematics,
Yeah.
social study, all those
That's
kinds
the
of things. You're supposed to
programmer
be.
years. Yeah.
Yes, those are, yes, indeed. So what tends to happen is if you are being traumatized, abused, abandoned, or something is happening to you, that portion of your brain has shut down. So you didn't download the information. So later on in life, you find yourself struggling with little simple things like, man, I should know that. But because that incident or those things happened to you, you lack the ability to move beyond that. And it's very important for us to understand that when we're looking at each other, and we're trying to develop a relationship. We're trying to come into a relationship, whether it be an intimate relationship, amicable relationship, um, you know what I'm saying? Business wise, if there has been some scarring in us, we really need to check that out because we have a tendency to have what we refer to as false memory. We'll begin to develop things in our thoughts that are untrue. We'll begin to develop things in our thoughts that is someone else's experience to get around what we didn't download when we were supposed to be downloading it. So there's a number of things that really take place, which is why it's very important for counseling, why it's very important maybe to see a psychiatrist or someone that could really help aid you in what it is that you're doing, a life coach, relationship coach, someone that has experience. You have all of these certified people out here with no experience. There is no one to oversee them and tell them, hey, you know what? You don't say that. Don't do that. That's not appropriate or correct to do or say. And they are neos in their growth processes. And you find a lot of people being experimented on, which is also dealing with when you come to relationships and dysfunctionality. In terms of people being dysfunctional, you're getting misinformation from people that have gone and taken classes and have gotten certificates, but they're really not qualified because they haven't actually been overseen and prompted and given other inside information. Classroom information is always surface information.
Exactly.
Information, the real information is always going to be outside of the classroom. Because I teach, so I know, exactly what it is that I'm saying to you.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm sorry, but go ahead, say it. I get to,
man. Yeah, real is what you feel. You know what I'm saying? To play with the title a little bit. Real is what you feel. Real recognize real, man. Yeah, and and then just breaking down words as you did a little bit in there. Ignorance. We talked about like ignorance. Ignoring. Ignoring is a key word in there. Ignore it. It's key things like that, man. It's just a problem, and I realize in conversations, as you mentioned, like they go back to like a mind state where trauma really affected them. I realize in conversations, some people, like you said, turn the name callers. Like, all right, we having an intellectual conversation. Like, oh, hold on, what my mama got to do with this? What?
Right,
what?
Right. Yes, yes.
It's like, yeah, man, it's crazy, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So you get to real this, and see, here's the thing though about it.
Mm-hmm.
When the parents are dysfunctional, they also cause the children to be dysfunctional.
Oh yeah, that's double dysfunction.
Yes, absolutely. Exactly, because what we found out is it's not so much what we pass on genetically as much as it is the influence of the environment. Because our brain cells are wired to absorb information.
Yep.
They are absorbing the information. They are scanning the environment to see what is best for their survivability. So if they're in an environment of dysfunctionality, they're going to develop that kind of behavior for survivability in that particular environment. That's why it's very important to understand the saying is true. You are a product of your environment.
Environment, exactly. Yeah.
Yes, it's very important to understand that. People think that that's just an idiom or a cliche. It isn't. This is actually real. It really happens. And here's what people don't understand, and I'm gonna turn it back over to you. What most people don't understand is that a child is a product of the environment because they retain more of what they see than what they hear.
Yeah.
And we fail to realize that. You can't say do as I do as I say and not as I do.
Exactly.
That's counterproductive. That's, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's not going to happen like that, because the eye gates are going to send information to your brain, and your brain is going to begin to interpret that information. And once it interprets that information, it's going to be like, no, I'm going to do what you just did because it worked in the environment that you in. Exactly. So therefore, I'm going to utilize that. But anyway, yes, sir, Sid.
Yeah, man. You know, vibe equals tribe. It's a real thing. You know, I say that, but you know, subconsciously, I think it probably go over heads. You know, if you know what I'm saying, if you the fifth homie, all your homies, you the sixth homie, all your homies broke. You know what I'm saying, like you number 6 broke, man. Like it's a you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Thing, like, yes. You know what I'm saying? And then violence, you know, programming, you know, you see a certain behavior. Like, all right, cussing is cool. You can yell at people. Look, it's fine in here. Like, oh, all right, so I'm gonna do that. I can yell, and then yeah, it's just certain triggers. You know, people grow up finding things like, yeah, I don't yell because I was programmed that yelling is not necessary. You know, but I was yelled at as a kid. You know, there's a lot of verbal, like, yo, so I react different. Like, yo, you raising your voice, like, why did I? Did I raise a hand to you? Like, did I? It's not, if you don't raise, like, if it's no physical harm, like, we should never raise. We should never raise the voice. You know, if I'm not harming you, if I'm intellectually, you know, dissecting.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Each other.
Come on here. Exactly.
Yeah, it's
come
like,
on here. Say that.
Yeah, man.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
And I realize with these kids growing up, and you know, these stories I hear, like people, you know, gossiping about their family and etc. It's like, okay, it's like, you like these adults, you know, yelling at kids like they're not supposed to do kid things.
Exactly.
It's like, don't be running. Like, don't be running. Yo, I'm going to run.
Yes, exactly. Because I have all of this energy. I have this kinetic energy that's forcing me to have to move. Yeah. We don't understand the symmetry and the elements of any of that, the symmetry of that element of running and how it fits into the scope of the development of the child. They have to move that energy around because they're developing. And with that, we're talking about relationships. That one of the things that I'm not so sure about is this new movement with these sisters, how they're rearing the children with no boundaries.
Yeah,
where there is no system of check and balances. Well, we don't discipline our children. That, you know, the spirit told me not to hit my child, and this, that, and the other thing, and da 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 and da da da. I'm trying to wrap my mind around it because I don't understand. If you're not an abusive parent, you're not abusing your child, and you are using a form of corporate punishment for teaching purposes and further development purposes, then there shouldn't be any problem with that. But you have parents that allow their children to break things in the home and won't correct them. They'll just go and buy something else. They'll just go and get something and put it up there. Baby, don't break that.
Yeah.
Don't break that.
Yeah, it's just gonna be a whole ego trip. Like when, you know, you can't correct those type of people, and I keep running across those kind of people. Some people that have never been corrected, they think it's they take it, you know, they put dirt on your names. Like, yo, I just try to
yes, exactly. What they're going to say is you're carrying negative energy. That's negative. That's no, I'm
He's toxic.
correcting you. Yes, there you go. Yes, yes. He's toxic and he's carrying negative energy.
Yep.
No, I'm just trying to correct you that that's wrong on every level.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, man. It's like,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I've
You
had
can't
some
tell
knockdown
somebody they're
drag out.
wrong.
You know what I'm saying? Yes.
Gonna
Yes, if you do that, yes, if you do that, man, I'm telling you, it's going to be a big kerfuffle. And one of the things, of course, I host a truth session. That's one of the things that we did. We deal with the reality of things. We give you a mind check, which we put you on the lifeline and give you a checkup from the neck up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a cog. I'm a cog. I deal with cognition. I'm going to deal with the development of your mind. I'm going to tell you that there are certain areas of your mind that are underdeveloped. And as a result of that, you can't make the proper decision to determine what and what should not happen. So therefore, you need aid and assist. I need to assist you with some information that allows you to begin to expand your thought processes. One of the things about the brain is that it is filled with elasticity. It is not in a permanent state. It has to develop. It has the ability to develop. Exactly. And one of the things that we found out through research is that if you can hold your attention span for at least an hour listening to information, it automatically expands your brain. Not only does it expand your brain, but it creates new plexus in your brain for neurons to travel upon to have new experiences. Your new experiences are going to come about as a result of your attention span. What are you paying attention to? You know what I'm saying? So it goes back to what we retain more, what we see than what we hear. Yeah. So most people are visual. So if you can get something within their eye gates, you can probably jumpstart their minds to begin to develop in a way, man, that they'll become more conscious and begin to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's marketing 101. You know what I'm saying? That's marketing 101. You know, they show you, red, that pops to the eye, red and yellow, or McDonald's. Like, oh, the food's terrible, but nah, I like the color. Forget what you said. I'm looking. It looks good, but yeah, man, it gets deep like that. And a back and forth I had recently, like emotional intelligence, like emotional intelligence, And, what's your feelings on men? Like I already chucked it up. Like I have a high understanding on this. I understand the queens very functional, have emotional intelligence. And I feel like sometimes, they can react to something more emotional than logical. And then they got a little funky after that. But what's your feelings on emotional intelligence, emotional versus logical, man? Because sometimes you can break down a situation, the logic is there, but you bring emotions into it, like it's like ain't no it's like,
yeah,
like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, here's the thing. When you get into emotions, what you're actually getting into, I deal with the etymology of words. I always break words down.
Yeah, go on there, break it down.
Yes, sir. When you look at the word emotions, the E actually stands for energy. It's energy. MC is equal to, to 2 squared MC.
Yeah. Emotion. Yeah. Emotion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's energy. And so you look at the word motion. Motion actually means the impulse of the brain.
Yep.
Okay. Motion means the impulse of the brain. So if you take energy and hit the impulse of your brain, you're creating motion. E is equal to MC squared. We're talking about the speed of light, sound and light, right? So what we're talking about is that your thoughts move faster than light. So when you act out in your thoughts, you can't take them back because they're moving too fast.
Exactly.
That's why we're calling them emotions, because of the energy that we give to them.
Yeah.
So when we look at our counterparts, our females, they like a certain level of self-control. not so much as it being their energy, as much as it being their inability to control self. See, that's altogether different.
Yeah.
When we are reared, men are reared different than women.
Yeah.
Or small boys. Small boys are reared different than girls. Small boys are more disciplined. They are put into certain boundaries that we say, well, we were taught not to cry. We were taught not to be emotional.
Exactly.
That doesn't have anything to do with your emotions. It has everything to do with your behavior, how you are behaving. Emotions they're only a part of your behavior. See, this is where, remember we talked about misinformation, being misinformed?
Yep.
A lot of things we have to go back and correct because they're not correct. So we're talking about behavior issues. When we're engaging our counterparts, our women, they have a behavior issue. And those behavior issues goes back to something they encountered, not their emotions. Exactly. It goes back to what they were experienced to.
Exactly.
That will determine what their behavior is going to be.
Exactly. You could say no, and then they have a flashback. It's like, oh man, my father said no, and he was an alcoholic.
Yes.
So you're my father.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Man.
And you are no more their father than a man on the moon.
Exactly.
But what that is, that's false memory.
Oh yeah.
They're giving you someone else's plight in life that doesn't belong to you.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So what happens is their memory gets jogged. And I was talking about this in the session, one of the sessions.
Mm-hmm.
When you talk about memory, you have to understand when you look in that word memory, you get the word memo.
Memo.
You get the word memo. Memo is a note that you leave to yourself, right?
Exactly.
So when you hit that trigger sends them back to that memo that they left to themselves, right? Exactly. Say, for example, they were in a really horrific relationship where they were being abused and neglected and everything, right?
Yeah.
So they left themselves a memo in their mind saying that I'll never, ever let anyone ever do that to me again. If it happens to me again, I'm going to make sure that I defend myself at all cost, right? Exactly. That's that memo. That's the memo that they left to themselves. But in leaving that memo to yourself, you'll never be able to get beyond it because it's a blockage. It's a trigger. So what you have to do is go back to that memo, read it, and see what you left yourself and realize what you did to yourself. See, all of this is self-inflicted. Everything that we look around and that's going on is self-inflicted, except from 0 to 7 years of age.
Exactly.
0 to 7 years of age is when we're normally being programmed. We're running programs. We're doing what we've seen someone else do or what we heard someone else has done.
Yeah.
So it's a program. We're running programs. So now, according to Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu, he talked about, in fact, I have his book on my shelf. Excuse me, I'm sorry, guys.
I'm going to the library, man. Hey, library.
Yeah. Let me look up here, man. It's up here somewhere. Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu, here it is. Let me see. Oh, man, I was looking for this book right here. This is a good book, too. If you've never read it, said you want to get it, man. The Psychopathic Racial Personality and Other Essays by Dr. Bobby Wright. If you haven't ever read that, man, it is a good read.
I'm going to check it out.
Yes. Yes. But here it is, Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys.
Oh,
right
yeah.
here. Yep. And it's different volumes to it, okay? But through researching, what he found out, as well as other researchers, was that from 0 to 3, everything that is within us is called intelligence. It's not what we've learned, it's intelligence. But what they found out was that we were the most astute. We walked first, talked first, cried first, opened our eyes first, rolled first, you know what I'm saying? Jumped first, danced first.
Oh, yeah. They
found out all of these things were happening to the hue man and woman. That means the black, brown, yellow man and woman, not our European counterparts.
Exactly.
They developed much later. But what he said was that anything after 3 years of age is taught. He said you're learning it, but your intelligence has already kicked in because you come here intelligent. And I thought that was very powerful, because when you start looking at that, then what happens is that there's a set of things that have been set in motion to disturb the development of that, to disturb the development of the young black mind.
Exactly.
A former colleague and professor of mine, peace be upon him, he has transitioned. And he was a European, and he told me something very important. He said, listen to me. He said, the only thing that the black man is missing is the inability to jumpstart his mind. What he was actually saying to me was that he doesn't recall the memo that he left to himself. Exactly. Memory means memo. And then you have to understand that your memory can be trained.
Oh yeah.
We don't understand that your memory can be, the brain is so powerful. And this is why it's very important. People don't like to listen to this kind of information because it kind of get a little technical. But it isn't technical if you kind of open your ears to listen, to hear, not just to listen, but to listen to hear. They're synonymous, but they're two different actions. Listening, you just listening and whatever. But hearing, you're focused and you're comprehending.
Exactly.
Listening, you're letting it come in one ear and out the.
You just hear noise, like, all right, yeah, they talking.
Exactly. Cognitive dissonance. Yes. Cognitive dissonance. Absolutely. So when you start getting into the interaction of how the brain works, then you start looking at the development of the brain, because they're going to tell you that, okay, our females, our counterparts, reach pubescence much earlier than we do. Yeah. They outgrow us. They are more intelligent and intellectual than we are at an earlier age. They are more serious than we are, because while we're latent in our functionality in the development of our cognition. And that's for a reason, so that we won't outgrow and dominate and destroy our counterparts. Everything works together. All of this, again, it's going to go back to behavior. What is the behavior? What type of behavior was in your environment when you're talking about establishing relationships? Okay. Yeah. So you were talking about establishing these relationships, and we're saying that, girl, you too emotional. No, what we're saying is you're acting out of sorts because you haven't downloaded a certain level of information that causes you to control your behavior. You have a behavior issue.
Yeah, man.
You understand what I'm saying? It's not an emotional issue. It is a behavior, because you can be as emotional as you want to. You can speed up the energy in your mind. That's all emotions are.
Exactly.
But it's the behavior that you connect to it. Yes.
Yeah, that's just sped up.
Yes. So if you download the appropriate information, when that happens, you are still able to control your body. Well, how do we do that? There's certain things that we can do. I teach Tai Chi. I do Tai Chi. Tai Chi is an element that teaches you to control your energy, your power, your life force, right? Because it can get away from you sometimes. That energy will hit you and your behavior comes online. And that behavior may not be so good. So, or it may be good. So it determines what happens. So you have to understand that, why aren't you saying that I'm this emotional being when I'm making you feel the way that you want to feel, right? Exactly. Oh, you're making me feel good, baby. What's up, baby? Yeah. Exactly. Right? So we look at that like, okay, well, right, that's on point. But then if it's ill toward that, then we're saying that you're too emotional, you're an emotional being, and you just all out of control. Why is that? Because you haven't downloaded the necessary information that allows you to control that kind of behavior. Yeah. And that can be easily taught.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It was a post I seen today It's like, I'm breaking up with you. It's like, oh, let me guess, because you think I know it all? Like, yes, I knew it. But
Yes,
yeah,
indeed.
man. I feel like books, information, or like information, like you said, the memo. Like I feel like books of information, everything that's left behind. I feel like ancestors left that as a bookmark for us to,
Yes.
for the
Yes.
next people coming to, hey, here's the memo. Hey, you got to take this memo. It's like, I don't
Yes.
want to take the memo. It's like, I want to learn it. Hey, take the memo, brother. This is good for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We gotta find
Yes.
that memo, man. Yeah.
Yes. And see, and said, here's the thing. Let me kind of explain a little bit about why people, when they have triggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And why they never move beyond those triggers, because you have to understand that those triggers carry a certain amount of energy.
Mm.
Energies are very powerful, whether it's good energy or not so good energy. They're both very powerful and they give you a charge. There is this upliftment from it, whether it be good energy or not so good energy. And so what has to happen? What has to happen is that you must understand the effect that you're having upon someone else. Yeah. You're unwilling to revisit those things that you left a memo about that triggers you. You're unwilling to change that because there is energy that goes to that, and then there is a response to it.
Exactly.
Okay? There is a response to it. And when there is a response to it, that creates even more energy.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And so once it begins to create that energy and you feel like you are in control, now I got you. And to hook you, you understand what I'm saying? You just keep driving. Listen, when you put that steering wheel in the middle of that forehead and you got them, you're going to keep driving. Why? Because it feels good. Here's what people don't understand about experiences. Experiences is not even the experience is just a part of what happens, right?
Exactly.
You want to have experiences. Ooh, man, I want to experience her. Ooh, that's what's up. I'm gonna do that. Or I want to experience him, girl. I'm gonna experience him, right? The experience is not even it. See, we've been misinformed. The experience is not even it. It is the element that the response creates, and what it creates. The experience, what it creates is emotion. The experience creates emotions.
Exactly.
It creates the energy to cause you to feel the way you want to feel, right? Once you get that girl, man, yes, sir. Once you get that girl, yes, once you get that girl, man, bam, and you done had that experience, it is the emotion, not the experience. It's how you're feeling now. Oh, I feel good. Oh, I feel good.
Yeah.
See, now if we begin. Exactly.
Yeah.
So now once we begin to understand that it's about emotions, and not the experience, we start to develop brain cells that creates more experience along the line of what's good and what isn't not so good. Exactly. You see, it's all about development. And then development goes back into what? Behavior. How are you behaving?
Exactly.
And what is triggering your behavior, right?
Yeah. A thorough particular way, a manner. Yes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like you said, the trigger. Like somebody, hey, your mama, brother, your mama's like, yo, my mama's like, man, hey, man, wait, you don't even know my mama. Let's get logical about this. Like, yo,
exactly.
My mama, I'm just mad.
Right.
Exactly. Like, yeah, man, little things, man. It's like, it's crazy. Yeah, little things, and it's sometimes like you said, it's a flashback, or I feel like if I get upset, I feel like it's a zone I could tap in just off the quickness. Like, oh yeah, you know what? I can just go back to this experience. You know what? It made me upset. This reminds me of that experience. You know what? I'm gonna tear your head off, man. I'm a fire sign.
Yeah.
I got that serpentine naturally, man.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess with Sid when he upset, and I don't get upset.
Right. Right. Exactly.
Oh man.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Man, I had a high profile person,
Hmm.
man, deride me. I mean, just ripped me up one side, down the other side. And I was like, you can't hurt me with words.
Exactly.
Those don't hurt me. I said, because you don't understand, I'm trained.
Exactly.
See, I'm trained because I was taught how to go to a place. See, there's actually a place you can go to called no hurt.
Mm.
See, got to train your memory, got to train your mind.
Mm.
When you were a child, things didn't hurt you.
Exactly. Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
when you
Playing
go
with
back,
Legos, like yo, I'm playing with Legos, man. This brother, he's saying some crazy stuff, man. I'm the Legos right here, man.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
And you
so you
just
say,
keep
go ahead. What? Like I got the Legos. I'm building my house real quick. What you say? Okay, cool. Exactly,
exactly,
man. Yeah.
exactly. We had an old idiom that we use called "sticks and stones may break my bones,
Mm.
but words will never hurt me." Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Yep.
That's an idiom that we use when I was a small boy growing up. Um, so so with that, I can recall that memo to order and say, take me to that place where these words do not have an effect upon me.
Mm.
Because we know that words can concisely place do some damage.
Oh yeah.
But once you've been trained, see, it goes back to, remember I said training.
Yeah,
Once
man.
you go back to training your memory, you start training your mind, you start doing these things. And here's where the church has failed us.
Go ahead.
The church has failed us in this because in everything that they're saying, just saying the name of Jesus, and it's going to be all right. It's not going to be all right, and it's not going to be fixed.
Mm.
Because there isn't anything that is being downloaded within me to change the program that I'm running.
Mm.
So if you download proper information within me to remove the misinformation, then I can upload that, and then my behavior will exemplify that. My
Yeah.
behavior will change. You see? So it's all about behavior. You know, when you're in the presence of someone, man, that, damn, this brother, man, he is smooth.
Yeah.
Man, he's solid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can
Yeah.
feel the energy because they come off on you like that, and it'll calm you down. You'll be like, damn, I can't even act out like that. I'm about to be cool, man. Dude, cool. Right? Same thing with women. There are certain females, man, have leaped, quantum leaped into a place, man, of such solitude that you can't even disturb them, man. They're not going to get emotionally disturbed, man, and act out. You're not even going to trigger them
Yeah.
because they found that place called no hurt. There is a place that we can go to. But we're so busy saying, man, listen here, man, get at that thing, man, get at your bag, man, get at that hustle, get on this, get into this
Yeah.
competition thing. When you get into competition, it creates a energy in the force that becomes disturbed.
Mm.
It creates destructive interference, not constructive interference. And what I mean by that is if you take two waves and you send them together and they clash, bam, that's that's destructive interference. But if you take two waves and they come together and they mesh together and go up
Oh yeah.
and then come back out and flow back out, then that's constructive energy. That's a constructive force. Uh, uh, so when you get to that realm and that level of energy, you're able to come into the presence of someone and touch their energy,
Mm.
and it becomes constructive energy,
Oh
and
yeah.
it begins to cause things to mesh into, grow into flow. It's all about flowing. It's like water.
Yep.
Water takes the least path of resistance. Water ain't there trying to go somewhere it can't go.
Mm.
Water also has within it force. So if water is moving fast enough with force, it's going to find the weakest spot, place, crack, or anything that it could go through, and it'll go through it because of what the force or what the energy, the kinetic energy. It goes back to how things behave. Well, how does water behave? Water is calm as long as what? You don't start messing with it. If the wind don't start blowing on that water is calm.
Oh yeah.
But let the wind start blowing on it. That water gonna get in what? Motion.
Exactly. Lesson plates,
Yeah.
Tectonic plates,
Yeah. That constructive interference is powerful, man. When you get to that constructive interference, man, it's gonna be powerful because you want that kind of interference so that, again, we're talking about relationships. What are the relationships? You want that constructive relationship and not destructive relationship. Because you can get that toxic relationship, those energies are just going to keep doing this. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But if you get that constructive interference, those waves are going to and spread out. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And create more momentum. And you have more to work with. And when we're thinking of relationships, that's why you want to be in a relationship with someone you can flow with. You guys can flow and not be at odds with each other. So yeah, that's going to be destructive.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's not no battle rap. You know what I'm saying? We're going to be in relationships like battle rap.
Yeah, exactly.
Each other.
Right.
We're supposed to be outcasts. We're supposed to be rapping together.
Right. And one of the reasons why, if I may say it, yes, sir. One of the reasons why we're in that because we're under what we refer to as Darwinism. And I don't know if your audience know what Darwinism is and who Darwin is. Darwin is, you need to study him.
Oh, yeah.
But he had what we refer to as natural selection. Natural selection creates competition. And what he was saying is, you heard the idiom or the phrase coined, only the strong shall survive.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
So what he is postulating is that in nature, everything is at odds with each other. Everything is in competition with each other when that is untrue. That's not true at all. It is not in competition. And it is not based upon the survival of the fittest. It is not based upon the strongest will survive. It's not based upon that because there's many variables that can come into play that would remove the strongest. You see what I'm saying? So, but what it does is it creates competition. And what he did was, through that psychology, they developed capitalism. Capitalism is based upon competition.
Oh yeah.
I got to make my product better than your product, because if I don't make my product better than your product, my product isn't going to sell. So what does that do? That puts you in competition against someone else. But if you look at nature and follow the course of nature, you'll find that nature is in harmony and in balance with itself. It only feeds itself to bring balance so that things will not become unbalanced in the environment.
Yeah.
So they're not feeding upon each other. They're feeding on another species for the purpose of bringing balance to the ecosystem. That's different. So if you bring that thought into the capitalistic system, then you're going to get what we have now, these rappers in competition with each other, killing each other because they think that they are better than the next one. When the natural element of things, again, is to come back to constructive interference, to come together and say, hey, man, you know what, man, dude, you're a bad brother. I'm bad. Hey, man, let's come together, work this thing together, and we can corner market together.
Yeah,
let's work together. Right, exactly.
Bad boys.
Exactly. Right. You see what I'm saying? So, but Darwinism is the concept that has been programmed or downloaded into our enneagramming that has us behaving like this. Again, it goes back to behavior. Remember, I'm telling you about behavior.
Yeah.
It goes back to how are you behaving? And of course, you know, they have the phrase out now, believe them when they show you who they are the first time.
Yeah,
right.
The first time, yeah.
So what are you saying? You're saying whatever their behavior is will determine ultimately who they will become insofar as it concerns you. Right?
Yeah.
So you have to see this. It goes back to behavior, but behavior is a result of what has been downloaded in here, in your
Yeah.
what? Mind. How have you been programmed? Who
Exactly.
programmed you? How did they get there?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
So it goes back.
yeah, a man
Yes.
ain't never supposed to step on your shoe, man. If he does, hey man, it's like,
Right.
yeah, all right, dad.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
Man, you stepped on my shoe, man. Like,
Yeah, we
all right,
finna make
my
some
fault.
furniture
I'm in a
move.
rush.
Yeah,
It's like I gotta put
yeah.
my hands
We
on
man,
it.
he done stepped on my shoe, man. I'm finna go and handle my business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm about to pop the trunk on him. You
something that
know?
costs sense to make, can make somebody lose their mind. It's crazy. It costs sense to make shoes. Like
Yes,
pennies, $1,
yes,
under $1 to make shoes. People lose their mind over it. It's crazy.
yes, yes. So, which is why there's this great undertaking of underdeveloping our minds.
Mm.
This is why there is a concerted effort to control the minds of the people. And that's one of the things that B.F. Skinner was talking about.
Mm.
He was talking about, we shouldn't be talking about what it takes to free a man. We should be talking about what it takes to control him. And I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah.
But those were his thoughts. He was concerned about man having free thought, because once you have free thought, you become creative. And when you become creative, you tap back into your God consciousness, and you're uncontrollable in terms of your what? Behavior.
Yeah, they don't want us to be childlike. They don't want us to be childlike.
Exactly. They can't modify your behavior. So they have a behavior modification elements that they institute to control you. All this is about control. How can I control you? Look at it. Control. When you look at control, look at that word. The root, the prefix in that word is going to be contact. 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 And then the suffix in that word is going to be troll or toll. 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 You see what I'm saying? Toll. What is toll? Toll is a payment for something. You have to pay to what? Enter in or to go through a toll.
I need some. Yeah.
you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
man.
how do they control? Watch this. How do they control certain monetary behaviors up and around those larger cities? By causing you to go through what? Tolls, and charging you to go through them. They're charging you for access. To get here, I'm going to control your access by what? Coming in contact with you. Whatever you come in contact with forms, molds, shapes, and develops you. So you have people that go through those tolls with no presence of mind that they're being extorted. You know what I'm saying? To get to one side to the other. You know, it's about control. Yes, controlling the wealth, controlling the finances. Where's all that money going? Who's using that money? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So there's a number of things that you have to bring into consideration when you start talking about what control is. Control is always going to cost you something to allow you to get to some proximity that you're trying to get to. We know where we're trying to go, but they're putting a toll on us, right? Yeah. They're calling forth a toll. They're saying, hey, you can't do this if you don't do this. What is that? Control.
Controller.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. You know, so but yeah, when we have these types of conversations like this, there is a plethora of knowledge and information that comes out that sometimes doesn't come out in other arenas and other conversations. And we all have something to put in the pot, you know, to make that stew. So it's very important for us when we get an opportunity like this, man, to not squander it, but to really be front and center and say, hey, man, what's up? What's going on? I'm here for you. Let's kick it. Let's drop this information, man. And let the people decide, you know.
Oh, yeah, man. Kind science, you know, with knowledge, you know, science. Hey, man, you hip to the science? Like, what that mean? Knowledge.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, man. So
yes, indeed.
I don't know. I know it takes generations, you know, but you know, once you change your mind, that's the most powerful thing you could do. You know, once I changed my mind, so man, yeah, I grew up in not the perfect environments, you know, but somehow, you know, I seen the light, you know, to overcome, you know, to change, you know, to break curses, you know, man. So yeah, man. So how we keep overcoming? How do we overcome? How do we break these nasty behaviors? And how do we how and why should we change?
Because one of the things is about we're under a spell.
Exactly.
We're disillusioned. We are misinformed. We're running programs that are not viable.
Exactly.
We're running programs that are destructive interference. They're counterproductive to nature, to the environment, to the ecological system. So in turn, we cannot become attached again to God. God is nature. It's not this concrete AI world that we're living in. It is the natural element of things, the ecological system that gets us in tune with the God conscious within us.
Yep.
Right? So what is happening is that what we was playing around with the term earlier, we're retarded. Our growth has been retarded. So if you begin to teach along the lines that, hey man, you're a God, you know, the church gonna come out against you. There are those that in the conscious community, they're gonna come out against you. I mean, we just go down the line.
Oh yeah.
Because of just misinformation. And that misinformation keeps us locked into this little box. And we can't venture outside of that box. But then there comes a time that there comes those that have the amplified voice.
Yep.
That within their voice, there is this kind of cadence that begins to unlock those boxes and open up the minds of the people. But the thing about it is that it is not without opposition. Again, I go back to what the church is doing. The church labels everyone, calls everyone the devil, tell everyone that they're going to hell, and then they stoke the flame of fear. And we know what fear is going to do. Fear is going to create false illusions.
Oh yeah.
False evidence appearing real. It's going to create illusions that are not even there because fear is not real, but danger is.
Danger, yep.
So it's going to begin to create these things. But here's the thing, the brain can be sped up. You can speed it up. You can open up portals. You can open up portals in the mind and download information that brings you up to speed. For example, like a computer works, right? When a computer is outdated, what do?
Exactly.
We download it with what? Information and bring it up to what? Speed, right? In the Greek, the word is spoudazo. Spoudazo means to bring up to speed. You see what I'm saying? So when you bring a thing up to speed, that means that it has been informed.
Yeah.
And when you informed, when we use word reversal, it means to form in. In other words, remember, it goes back to, we was talking about, everything goes back to self, goes back to behavior. Exactly. When you download the correct information, it brings about the proper behavior.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Information brings about transformation. It transforms you, not change you. Again, we're under the illusion of change. There's an idiom, there's a phrase, things only change to remain to be the same. And that's true. You can take a piece of paper, ball it up. It changed, didn't it? Changed the form of it. It changed. But if you take it and straighten it back out, it's still the same piece of paper, isn't it? Yeah. It only changed to remain to be the same, right?
And to break down fear, you know, in two different ways, you know, fear, you know, false evidence appearing, you know, real. You know what I'm saying? But my fear and the fear that you stand on, you know, is face everything and rise. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I'm
yes.
saying?
Yeah. Yes. And that's you juxtapose that for the purpose of giving more information.
Yeah.
You countered that. In other words, you created a force so that can't move beyond a certain parameter.
Yeah.
Right? It can't proceed beyond a certain parameter because now you put that up there.
Yeah.
Right? So now it has something in opposition because you juxtapositioned it, and now you can see both of them together, and then you can see, okay, where false evidence appearing to be real, then your phrase is, say again.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
What's your phrase? Your phrase is about
man.
fear.
Oh yeah, fear. Yeah, face everything and rise. And then
face everything and rise in adversity. Now it has something to what? Something to impede its progress.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're gonna rise now.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Against false evidence of being real. Now you got something to fight. Yeah. See, now you have an opposing force. Right? Now you can bring balance. Now you just brought balance to the force. Yeah. But bringing balance to the force allows us to get into a certain realm of knowledge. And when we get into that certain realm of knowledge, what it does is it speeds up our ability to what? Think, getting back to kinetic energy, getting back to the flow, getting back to creating plexus for the neurons to do what? To travel upon new pathways to create what? New experiences, so you can have what? New feelings. It's about feeling. Everything want to feel. When we want that system, we want to feel it, we want to touch it, we want to hold it. Exactly. It's about feeling.
Yeah, man, we can't have, positive, we can't have positive energy and positive reactions or interactions in a negative environment. Like that's counterproductive. You can't, that's unrealistic. The factories is by the projects for a reason. The air is supposed to smell bad in the projects, but you go to the suburbs, you want to taste the air.
Yes, exactly.
It tastes good. The air tastes good. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, man. It's all by design. So, but they want us to fear, but they don't want us to face. They don't want us to face everything to rise, man. They ain't ready for that. Nah.
Right. Yes, indeed. You face everything to rise. And what's the E stand for again?
Oh yeah. So facing everything. So face everything.
Elevate, right?
Yeah.
Elevate. Yeah. That's it. It's about leveling up. That's what's happening. And again, we have to stop stepping on each other. Again, it is a system. It is a system of competition. If you take the competition out of it, then you'll find that there'll be harmony and balance.
Oh yeah.
Again, nature is not in competition with itself. Let me throw this at you real quick. Dr. Haney and I, we were studying this, and he was sharing something with me. He said, herein lies a problem right here for the Black man. He says, naturally, you're in tune with nature. That has been your plight. That is what you've done all of your life when you was in Akabulin. Some call it Akabulin. Akabulin. When you were there, you were in tune with the spirit of the land, with the spirit of the tree, with the spirit of the plants. Everything, you were in tune with it.
Yeah.
He said, but what happened was they moved you to a place where there was no vegetation, no trees, and all it was concrete.
Yeah.
He said, so you became a product of that environment. You became hardened.
Yeah.
You became hardcore.
Yeah, we was lions, and then we woke up in the zoo. It's like, yo, what is this?
Yes.
What is this?
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So when you look at us now, we're hardcore, man. I'm hard. I'm hard, bro. Don't push up on me like that, because I'm hard. And we've forgotten how to be malleable.
Yeah.
Soft and approachable and empathetic and sympathetic and sensitive. You want me to tell you what really fears a woman? I don't care how developed she is and underdeveloped she is. You know what fears her the most? Is a male that is in tune with his femininity.
Oh yeah.
He's a dangerous male. You know why? He's a dangerous man because he has the ability to sense as she sensed intuitively. He has the ability and he's in tune with that. Not only is he in tune with that, but then he's in a different position to command authority.
Yeah.
That changes the dynamics because a sister's strength lies in her intuitive capabilities to see, to feel, to sense. Doesn't lie in the ability to have authority because she'll come up on the masculine plane and then she'll begin to act out and misbehave. So, but when a male is in tune with the feminine element of himself, he learns how to tap into her. And because so often that our counterparts, our females, have been traumatized or damaged in some kind of way, they go back to that memo they left. They say, if you make me feel like this, I don't want to feel like this. Because it makes them vulnerable.
Yeah.
And that vulnerability will cause you to act in a way that you never thought you would behave. You know what I'm saying? You will become successful unto that approach from that male. You look at that lion and that lioness, man. When that lion man, listen here, that female, listen here, she gonna bag that thing up. She gonna get on all fours and then she gonna bag that thing up, right?
Yep.
You think about what has happened to our counterparts, our sisters, the queens. Look at what happened to them. They've been so damaged that when they get back to that place that makes them feel vulnerable, they go back to their memo and say, no, he did me wrong. Ain't never, you can't open me up like that. And then you only ever have a surface relationship. And this is what you're looking at when you're looking at these dysfunctional relationships. It's because they're only surface. They're not indwelling. They're surface.
You can't open a closed door.
Yes, you cannot. You cannot.
You gotta get a key.
Yes. And
the key
and sad to say, sad to say, most of the females that I've come in contact with and had to and tried to establish a relationship, that problem existed.
Yeah.
You know, and you work hard at that to try to tear those walls down, but because they're unwilling to visit that memo and rewrite that memo, they are bound by their words. See, you have to be careful what you write and say because you're bound by that.
Oh yeah.
You see, unless you go back and you rewrite that, you're bound by that. And this is why that behavior is always going to come forth.
Yeah. You know, soul contracts. I talked to a queen on here. We talked about the soul contracts, you know, and you know, some people are meant to have one person in their life. Some people are meant to have several people in their life. Some people are meant to have nobody. But the soul contracts, you know, pretty much the stars align and builds who we are in our essence. So yeah, it's definitely it's important to know that the soul contracts, you know, within each other, you know.
Let me blow your mind just for a minute.
Go on there.
Say it. Every relationship that we've ever had, every relationship that whether women have had multiple men, men have had multiple women, and queens, empresses, goddesses, please note that we're just speaking in specific terms. I recognize you all as queens, empresses, goddesses, all of the above, because I worship you all praises. But we're talking in general terms. But everyone that has had multiple relationships, they've been back here more than one time. They've been here before. Watch this. Every individual that you've had an intimate sexual relationship with, that was a relationship in eternity past, a full-blown relationship. The reason why you are having it in this realm right now, because this is the realm of manifestation. This is where we come to be creative. That's why there's instances that you have with those that you've been in a relationship with that, damn, this had happened before. Why? Because you were in a previous realm in a relationship.
Yeah.
In quantum principles, there are Innumerable possibilities. Why are there innumerable possibilities? Not only are there innumerable possibilities, probabilities, and potentiality, there's the potential for anything to happen. There's the probability for it, and there is the possibility. So if these things have occurred already, then you're experiencing a short burst of that to jog your memory that this is what you've done in the past.
Yeah.
Most people don't understand that. They think that, man, I just hit that. Woo, I just hit. No, you didn't. You were in a relationship.
Yeah.
You're just experiencing that relationship now in a small interval.
Exactly.
See, see, that makes too much sense that some are not going to be able to grasp it. But there'll be others that say, damn, I knew something was going on. Damn, he done hit the nail on the head with the hammer. This is what's been happening all the time.
Yeah.
So this is how you're able to get to this place called no hurt. That when you understand, okay, this isn't supposed to be long-lived, long-termed in this realm.
Exactly.
In this realm. So once I recall that I left to myself that, okay, I'm gonna meet such and such and such and such. We're gonna do such and such and such and such, but it's not gonna be long lived. We left these memos to ourselves. We just don't know how to tap back into them. Once you come in contact with those that are able to touch your enneagramming, they're able to open that up and cause you to become once again familiar with that. You know what I'm saying? Those are some of the things that I do. But I'm not a hoorah person. I'm not a online person that's always out here online. I look for those that seek me, because if they seek me, then I have to give them what they're looking for. Okay. There's information that I give to people, but then there's information that I give to those that seek me. That's a difference. That's a difference.
Yeah, man. That's a lot of reflection, man. I definitely got it. As well, man. It's like, man, I knew I met her 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Man, there's so many situations. Yeah, it's like, man, it's like, yeah, this is becoming a routine. Like, yeah, this is a routine. This is, some people, some people never fall out of it, you know.
Right. Correct. That is true. That is true. Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. But yeah, you know, some things that they'll never come into our line of hearing until the teacher appears.
Oh yeah.
The teacher will release certain things that creates an amplification in your eardrums that will allow you to comprehend certain words and sayings that illuminate you, that enlighten you, that wakes you up, and you're forever transformed. And that's important, because when we hear it, then it comes into our line of sight, and then we start engaging relationships. You're talking about relationships. Relationships are at their most powerful is when we've been trained, when there are certain things that we have been exposed to that allows us to explore.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, what happened was, for me, I met an older sister, older queen, you know, older empress, goddess. And she opened me up. She began to teach me things that I didn't know, but at the same time, she didn't bruise me. She didn't traumatize me, saying, oh boy, look at that little thing you got down there, boy. You don't know what to do with that. She didn't come with that negative talk.
Exactly.
She came with that talk that to build me, because she was older. She knew that I was going to have many encounters. So before you get turned loose on some of these sisters out here, let me give you some information so that you will know how to bring delight to them and not hurt and disappointment and let down, you know, to them, and unfulfillment to them. But yeah, if we go back to the memos, man, we got, even as you said, the ancestors left us so much information, man, that, man, we shouldn't be missing the mark. we should be hitting the target, man. We should be dead center.
Yeah, man, we keep hitting that snooze button. I'm gonna wake up in 5 minutes, I promise. I was like,
Yeah.
give me 2 more minutes.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I promise 30 this time. Like, nah, man, you keep hitting the snooze alarm. Yeah.
Yes, indeed. But one of the things I know we got to get out of it, but one of the things that I learned that I had to develop was a love language.
Exactly. Oh man, me as well. Like, oh, it's a book. That's a book I'm trying to get now. The 5 love languages, but I'm aware of all of them now. But it was a time I wasn't.
Yes, I had to develop a love language. And when you develop that love language, you're going to have great opposition. I'm telling you now, because those that haven't revisited those memos that are triggers, they're going to think that you're trying to do something to them. Oh, he just want, no, I don't want you. Oh, I just want to love on you. Exactly. I just want to let you know that you're beautiful, you're a queen. And I want you to take your position. I want you to be able to heal our nation, to heal our young boys and girls and do those things. That's not going to happen without having a love language, having that empathy in your voice, that sympathetic element of yourself and that sensitivity. Yeah. And most of us, we're unafraid. I mean, most males are afraid to explore the level of sensitivity that is within us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
we're unable. Yes.
They can use it against you in the court of law.
Exactly.
Like, exactly. I was vulnerable with you. Like, you gonna say that to me? Like, oh man.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Some sister told me. I'm trying to paraphrase. Yeah. Some sister told me, just open up more. It's like I'm talking, ain't I? This is me opening up.
Right.
Like, you see a smile on my face. Like, all right. I was like,
Right. Right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. But I've learned so many tricks of the trade that when you're in a relationship, you know what I'm saying? I'm a masseuse. I do facial massages. I'm a barber stylist. You know what I'm saying? I'm a sociologist, psychologist, psychiatrist. You know what I'm saying? Sexologist. I mean, you're not gonna just go down the line and just start naming it off. You know what I'm saying? And when you get in my presence and we begin to demonstrate with each other, you'll begin to note that for yourself. You're gonna say, "No, this guy, he is real. Exactly. Real recognizes real. Yeah, real. Yeah. There it is. See, when you are gifted like this, it's a certain way that you're gonna carry yourself. You're not gonna carry yourself in the rah-rah. You're not going to carry yourself that, I got to get out here and people got to recognize who I am. No.
Exactly.
What you have is going to present itself. And those that it is for, they're going to be magnetized and drawn to you.
Exactly.
And then there are others that are going to come because they see the light. But they're not there because they're going to stay. They're there because they saw the light and was drawn. It's for example, like if you go out at night and you look up at the lamppost up there, you see all them bugs flying around that light, all of them going to that light.
Yeah.
But the crazy part about it is, if you take the cover off that light and look at it, all of those bugs in there are dead.
Exactly. Yeah.
Isn't that strange?
That's crazy.
What is that really saying? They were attracted to the vibration of the light. So what that is really saying is that although they know that it's going to cost them their lives, they're still going to the light because the light is going to feed some element of them. And this is what happens when people are damaged. They are drawn to the light, but they're not willing to come and die. And when we're talking about dying, we're not talking about physically, because we know we don't die. We're talking about transitioning. They don't want to go through that transitional period because it doesn't feel good.
Oh yeah. Become a vegan. Become a vegan. Oh, it don't feel good. You know, the cold turkey. Like, it don't feel good, but it's the best option for you. It's best for you.
Yes, it doesn't. you're going to say that doesn't feel good to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to approach that. I'm not going to deal with that.
Yeah.
So you have all these dynamics that are going on. And so that's why it's very important in getting back to having experienced people speak into your life. Someone that's experienced enough, not that you can go and take a class and go through that class and then come out here and start experimenting on people.
Mm.
You need someone in your life that's going to mentor you, that can guide you, that can provide answers for you when you get maybe caught in a situation where you don't know how to counsel someone, and then you just give them some information off the top of your head. So with the internet, you have all of these kinds of neos that are out
here. Yeah.
For me, what I've been doing it for over 30 years. I didn't just start doing this.
It's a lot of YouTube University type.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that doesn't mean I'm telling you you can't use your skills. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that wisdom dictates that once you begin the practice of something, you should be under the tutelage of someone for an extended period of time, not a 6-month course. You know what I'm saying? Not a 3-month course, and then you get a certificate because, I feel, I woke up, I got struck, and I feel like this. This may sound like I'm hating, but I'm not. I'm saying for the protection of those that don't know any better, that you need some trained people that are trained and know what the hell they're doing and singing.
Exactly.
And this is important because they're going to create other situations that others have to come along and undo,
Oh, yeah. Oh, man.
Mr. And so this is what, this is
Mr. One. Fix-It Man.
Yeah.
So he hurt you. Let me try to rebuild. Oh, I can't rebuild. I tried.
Right. Right. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So, I mean, it's crazy because I've had people come to me that have gone to other therapists that are quote unquote in, in the corporate world, you know what I'm saying? And then have come to me. And I showed them, the difference, and I showed them how you really tap into and plug into someone. Your corporate people are pretty much going to be scripted. They have a script that they have to go by. They have checkoffs that they have to check off.
Tell me how you're feeling. Tell me how you're feeling.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when you get into the real presence, man, a real therapist and a real counselor, man, they're really going to be inviting to you. You're going to fall into the whoop.
Yeah.
You're going to be like, damn, what just happened? And they're going to start talking to you. They're going to start talking to you as if they've ever known you, man. They're going to start talking to you of stuff that's happened in your childhood, things that have happened that that don't nobody know but you. And they're going to look at you like, how in the hell did you know that? Well, first of all, you came here for help. And because you came here for help, you're telling me what you need me to know to help you. You see what I'm saying? That's what real therapy is. Real therapy is not guestology. I'm not guesstimating. I don't have some checkoff list that I'm going to check off and then have you surfaced heal. And then someone is still able to hit your triggers. Don't you know if you've been going to therapy and they tell you you're okay and you are still triggered, that means that you are not healed.
You're not okay. You're not okay, Annie. Annie, you're not okay.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, man.
You're not okay, man. You need to do something else because that's not working. So it's very important to realize that. And then here's the thing said, and I'm telling you, when we tap back into the knowledge of self, what happens is, man, that there is an element of ourself in the constitution of the construct of our mind is the ability, man, to know who we're supposed to be listening to.
Exactly.
And we choose to do otherwise. So we'll only stay surface dwellers. Those of us that become profound, we have the ability to feel that little nudge. When our unction, when the spirit hits us, it isn't boom and all over the place like they dance all over the church and all of that. I understand that the energy do hit you like that, and you might not be able to control it.
Yeah.
But when the spirit is really want to prompt you and give you some information, it's just a little nudge.
Oh yeah.
It's a little small nudge. And it's testing to see if you are aware. And if you are aware, then you get the gift. You get the blessing of that. You get the elements of that because you were able to be in tune with it and come into harmony and balance with it. Yeah.
Yeah, man. And tune. You better tune in.
Yeah.
Stay in tune, man. Yeah,
Yes.
man. Real recognize real, man.
Yes,
yeah,
it does.
That's what you feel, man. Definitely, you already know, man. Definitely done helped me a lot, man. And I realize, for some reason, some people, you know, they like interactions I pretty much summed up for you. Some, you know, some relationships, you know, was supposed to crash and burn. You know, some was supposed to be a month. Some was supposed to be
right.
all of 2 days. You know, some just all of 1 hour, you know.
Yeah, it's just that was just only supposed to be a jump off. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like, that's it.
It's supposed to be a jump off, man. That's it. You trying to long term with a jump off. What you doing?
Right.
Man?
That's all that was. You know what I'm saying?
Man. Real recognize real, man. Definitely
exactly.
Definitely, man. Heavy positive influence on me, man. Definitely appreciate you always, and definitely my therapist, man. I hit you, man. Definitely tune in every session, man. Definitely my therapist, man. Always love checking in on you, man. And definitely we haven't met yet, but we already met.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
We've been met.
I mean, because we hit it off right, you know, and we get ready to transfer over into this fake transference of the new year. But you and I, we hit it right off. It was very powerful. It was magnetic. It was the magnetism. And I seen in you, I seen the statue of the glory and the aura and the energy and your energy field that you were carrying. And I know that there is a great call that is upon your life, and that there's great things that you're doing and going to do. Very prominent. There are some other things that are getting ready to be established for you too that I'm even looking at. That there's some relationships that are getting ready to come, which is why we talked about relationships. But you didn't know I was in Myrtle Beach last month. And I did a live from Myrtle Beach, and I told the people in this season it's going to be about relationships.
Yeah.
You didn't know that, see? And so what I'm saying is that when you work in this realm, one of the reasons why they call me the prophet, the cosmic commander, that I'm in tune with the universe and I have the ability to be prophetic, but I'm not a religious church individual. I'm an individual that knows that only the truth can make you free. Oh, yeah. It's only the truth, and the truth is universal. The truth is everywhere. You can't tell me that you're the only one with the truth within 4 walls. Man, get out of here. Take that somewhere else.
Exactly.
The truth is everywhere. The truth is within every heart of every man, woman, boy, and girl that chooses to acknowledge it. Right? That chooses to acknowledge it. And if you choose to acknowledge it, it'll begin to reveal itself to you. And then it'll begin to cause you to attach yourself with the right relationships, or cause divine incidents to happen where you would divinely bump into people. Let me give you an instance, and I know we got to get out of here. Okay. I'm gonna give you an instance. This is when in the 90s, I was in Memphis, Tennessee, and I was on a circuit. I was doing conferences, and I wasn't married yet, and I was coming out of this restaurant. And when I opened up the door and I came out, I bumped into this little short lady, small short lady, sister. I bumped into her. She looked like she was maybe late 40s, early 50s, maybe. And when she bumped into me, she said, "Oh, what you're looking for is farther south." Now she didn't know me from Adam from Ant, but when she bumped into me, she said, "What you looking for is farther south." I just looked at her and I nodded, and I kept on walking.
Yeah.
But I knew exactly what she was talking about because I was looking for my then to be wife. See, those were my thoughts. She bumped into my thoughts because she bumped into my energy field. There are those of us that have the ability to bump into your energy field and read your information that is in there and let you know, hey, you may not need to do that. You may not need to say that. You may need to go here. You may need to do this, that, and the other thing, or around here under there. There are those of us that have the ability to do that. Why? Because we've been trained. We have experience. We have experienced things that we can give you information about, not to guesstimate. And I was talking about it in the truth session. Yeah, I was talking about it in the truth session. I said, let me explain something to you all. It's not the person that pushes you anywhere. People cannot push you anywhere. And if they do, they're pushing you somewhere that is unfamiliar to them. They have no idea what's there. They've never been there, and they can't tell you what's going to happen for you or to you. It is the person that pulls you up. It is he or she that pulls you up because they pull you to an elevated place and cause you to come into an advantageous position. When they cause you to come into an advantageous position, they give you the ability to see and hear what they see and hear. And if they have been there for a certain period of time, they have experienced certain things that you have not yet experienced, but yet they're going to pull you to a place so that you can see, hear, and experience that. And that's called bringing up the speed and speeding up. Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, yes, man. Nothing but the truth and nothing but. Man.
Yes, sir. Can't you say?
That's what I love, yes, man.
Sir.
Yeah,
yes,
man.
Sir.
And definitely,
yes,
man,
sir.
definitely vibrationally, definitely in a better space than I ever been, man. It's crazy. Yeah, yes, man. Yes. And, it's all about the path you choose, because I could have chose a different path, and
yes, indeed,
would never had this conversation because I would have been elsewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
it's amazing how things happen for a reason, and things are aligned for a reason, and it's amazing how the universe constantly keep telling you, hey man, this is a reason. Oh, yo, you stepped on this person's foot. It was to talk to him.
Right, exactly. Yes.
yes. Then, down the line, like, yeah. It's all about interactions, even like the negative interactions I have. Like, it's for a reason. Like, oh, I'm supposed to reflect. Oh, dang, I could do this better next time, and I will. Cool. All right, that should never happen again, and it don't. And
yes, sir.
For a reason, man. Yes, definitely, man. Conscious is a crazy member of the family, man. Definitely, JF Clay, once again, for the people, man. Just remind for the one time, remind them the one, why you do this, and
yes, indeed,
man, and it's going ahead, man.
I do it say it because I have a love for humanity, meaning the love of the colored man, black man, the yellow man, the light-skinned man, woman, boy, and girl. And I do it for the love of mankind, because I've been given a charge. I've been given the authority and the power and the ability to be able to do so. So I relish that. I hold on to that. And of course, you all can catch me every Saturday. We're going to be off this Saturday because of the holidays, which I don't celebrate.
We don't.
I don't celebrate that. We're going to give the families off, because I know you're probably going to be getting phone calls. People are going to be doing certain things, but every Saturday, normally every Saturday outside of when those days are prevalent, every Saturday at 3 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Eastern time, you can catch us on Facebook Live in the Truth Session. And also, you can also catch me on my YouTube page. It's 2 words, the THE One, ONE, exclamation point. You must put the exclamation point. The, THEE, one, ONE, exclamation point. You can find me there. And in my old sayings, I always say, hold what you got, muse over it, cogitate upon it, ponder on it, but by all means, govern yourselves accordingly.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Gratitude, said gratitude.
Always appreciate you, definitely, man. You already know one love is, and it's always love talk. And what I mean by love, life's valid expression.
Yes,
life's
indeed.
Only valid expression, man. Appreciate your family, and you know what I'm saying, definitely more to come, and we're gonna have some new teams on the way. New teams on the way.
Yes, indeed. Just so y'all know, I'm representing.
Oh yeah, never forget who we are, family, and we need to get that memo. We need the memo for the memo for the next memo. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Man.
Yeah.
Hey man, this has been crazy, man. Positive energy represents constant elevation, man. You know what I'm saying? Get on that train. You know what I'm saying? Don't miss that party train. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
that party train. Salute, man.
Yes, indeed. Yes, always. Always. One love. One love.
Vibe equals tribe. Peace.
Peace.